Okay, let's just get right into it. So, you're in your 30s, you're probably pretty good at your job, but you have this sinking feeling that you've hit a dead end. And here's the real problem. You're not 22 anymore. You've got real-world financial responsibilities that are holding you back from just making a clean break.
This feeling, it's so common. It really is like being stuck in career quicksand. And it feels like any move you even think about making just pulls you deeper. All because those very real bills, like the mortgage, are due every single month.
So, if that's the reality, what are you supposed to do when you're that trapped?
Exactly. And, the very first step is just realizing that all the standard career advice you hear, it just doesn't apply anymore. It's time to get real about what actually works for an adult with real responsibilities.
I mean, the classic follow your passion line has got to be the worst offender. It sounds fantastic, right? But let's be totally honest. Your passion for, I don't know, artisanal pottery isn't going to cover the mortgage next month. For most of us, that's just financially reckless advice.
But don't you need new credentials to change fields?
That's the logical question, right? But the reality is, for most people in their 30s, taking on 4 years of tuition and a mountain of new student loans is a complete non-starter. It's just not a viable path when you already have financial commitments.
And that leads right into the final piece of really bad advice. Just start at the bottom. Taking a 50% pay cut? It's simply not an option. But here's the good news. There's a much, much smarter way to do this. You don't have to start from zero. So this brings us to the core idea we're talking about today, the strategic pivot. Now, this isn't about blowing up your life and starting completely over. It's a real framework for leveraging everything you've already built to move into something new.
And here's the crucial point. A strategic pivot uses your existing skills, your network, and all your experience as a bridge. See, you're not abandoning your past. You're actually building on top of it. It's all about making a smarter move, not some desperate leap in the dark.
This framework really has 3 core phases. First, you're going to audit your skills. Second, you build new experience while you're still earning an income. And third, you look for opportunities to pivot right where you already are. We're going to break down each one.
But what if I have no relevant skills for the job I want? That is such a common fear. But you know what? It's almost never true. Seriously, think about it. Project management, communication, managing a budget, these are skills that are valuable in literally any industry. You have so much more leverage than you think.
Okay, next, you test the waters without quitting your day job. You could freelance on the weekends or take a really targeted online certification instead of a whole 4-year degree. Or you can build a portfolio with a side project. This is all about gaining new skills and proof that you can do the work all without the risk. And finally, we've got what is often the absolute lowest risk option of all, the internal pivot. Can you move to a different department? Can you volunteer for a project that gives you some new experience? Your current company can actually be the safest place to launch your next career move. So, that's the framework. But look, a plan is totally useless without a timeline. This is not an overnight change. We're talking about a deliberate 18-month process that makes this whole pivot feel, actually achievable. We break it down like this. Your first 3 months are all about the foundation, research and planning. Then the next big chunk, from month 4 all the way to month 12, that is dedicated to execution, building skills, networking, getting real experience. And that perfectly positions you for the final 6 months, where you can start the active transition with real confidence. And throughout this entire process, there is one non-negotiable rule. You have to have a financial safety net. Before you make that final jump, having 6 to 12 months of living expenses saved up is absolutely critical. It's what turns a terrifying leap of faith into a confident strategic step. So if there's one thing I really want you to take away from all this, it's this. You need to reframe how you see your own career history. It is not a boat anchor holding you back. It's the engine that's going to power you forward into what's next. So what are the biggest mistakes people make?
That's a great question. The biggest pitfalls are things like quitting with no plan whatsoever, assuming a new job is going to magically solve all your problems, learning a bunch of random skills with no focus, and of course, being financially unprepared. If you can avoid these, you're already way ahead of the game.
It really all comes down to this. The smartest, most successful career changes build a bridge from your past to your future. Your experience is your single greatest asset, period. So what can you do right now? I mean, this month?
Here's a simple checklist. Do a skill audit. Research 3 potential industries where your skills could fit. Talk to 2 people who are already working in those fields. And start just one small activity to build a new skill. Remember, action creates clarity. Just remember this. Your decade or more of work is not a liability that's locking you in place. When you position it correctly, it is the exact asset that's going to make you a unique and valuable candidate in whatever new field you choose. So we'll leave you with this question to think about. What's your single biggest career pivot challenge right now? Because just identifying that one thing is the very first step to overcoming it.
Hey, if you found this explainer valuable, please do us a favor and like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching.